Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is the Boy in Blue, and I got a request to talk about my book collection because I just bought this beautiful new bookshelf, and I put it on social media, and people were like, "Hey, let's see your collection. Talk about it." And I'm like, "Okay." So without further ado, here we have it. Gorgeous new shelf, gorgeous new posters. I got these from a friend of mine at work. I could only get two, so I had to get Scott. I love Cyclops. And I had to get my ladies, Storm, Jean Grey, Rogue, and Psylocke. These are two just gorgeous, gorgeous posters. Right now, I just have them chilling up there until I can find a better place to put them and where I can mount them. I took down my Black Widow poster because it was ScarJo, and I just can't deal with her right now. And I also took down my X-Men poster because of Jennifer Lawrence. Even though that was a beautiful poster, large in part due to Mystique's blueness. But yeah, I had to let that go. But it's cool. I've got this beautiful bookshelf now in its place and those two beautiful posters. So I have these books, all these beautiful, gorgeous books that I love that have helped shape me into who I am, and a lot of which I actually haven't read yet, so we'll get into that. But for this one, I'm just kind of just going to go through all of them and just talk about, like, just say the title and the author if necessary, and kind of just like go through it as quickly as possible. I want this video to be nice and quick, and then I will try to do some subsequent videos just breaking down some of them in genres, talk about like all my X-Men fan fiction books, and then also my gay related books, and then my Thug Love fiction ones, and then the YA ones, the sci-fi ones, the graphic novels will be one, and then like my school assigned readings, more sci-fi, more pocket size, mass markets, my ultimate guides that I got recently, more YA down there. Yeah. So here we go. We have X-Men, the Chaos Engine trilogy, and X-Men: The Legacy Quest trilogy. Both of these were originally comprised of three separate mass market books, but they were collected into these larger volumes that I was fortunate enough to get. In particular, the Chaos Engine trilogy was probably my favorite because it's just so deeply rooted in my nostalgia, and it just cemented my love for the X-Men. We have The Invisible Life. It's kind of hard to see because of the light. The Invisible Life by Elin Harris. And then also by Harris, we have Just As I Am, and This Too Shall Pass, If This World Were Mine, Abide With Me, Not a Day Goes By, Any Way the Wind Blows, A Love of My Own, I Say a Little Prayer, Mama Dearest, Just Too Good to Be True, Basketball Jones, In My Father's House, No One in the World, which was a collaboration with R.M. Johnson. I think this was one of his last ones before Harris passed away. And then we have Visible Lives, which was three stories in tribute to Elin Harris by Terrence Dean, James Earl Hardy, and Stanley Bennett Clay. We have Looker by Stanley Bennett Clay. Blackbird by Larry Duplicon. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. We have No More Tomorrows by Rodney Lofton. Love on a Two-Way Street by J.L. King. I'm on My Way by Christopher David. Both Sides of the Fence by M.T. Pope. Ladies' Night by Christian Keys. And then we have these three mangas in the middle of here. Gossip Girl for Your Eyes Only, volumes 1, 2, and 3. We have Seduction, Betrayal, and Naughty by Velvet. We have Payback with Your Life by Waida Clark. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her name right either. We have Sleeping with the Enemy by Waida Clark and Kiki Swinson. We have Thug Lovin' by Waida Clark. Justify My Thug by Waida Clark, and Love and a Gangsta by Eric S. Gray. These books up here are ones that I read. I read them all, like to completion. Some of the ones down here are newer, and then some of them I haven't read. There are ones in here that I have read, but I'll get into more of that later. Veronica Mars, Mr. Kiss and Tell by Rob Thomas, and Jennifer Graham. But Rob Thomas wrote the show, so yes. We have The GQ Candidate by Kelly Joff. X-Men Legends and The Ultimate X-Men, which are two books that have several short stories on on some of the X-Men characters. So those should be interesting reads. We have these next four books, which are collections of mystery stories, kind of like with those. They're a collection of short stories. One of them in each of these books has a Sookie Stackhouse story, aka the Southern Vampire Mysteries, aka the True Blood books by Charlaine Harris. So they are games creatures play, An Apple for the Creature, Crimes by Moonlight, and My Big Fat Supernatural Wedding. And there are more for me to get, so I'm not. There will be more that I will add. We have What Becomes of the Brokenhearted by Elin Harris, which was his memoir. We have My Daughter's Boyfriend by Sydney Rax, or Rox? I think Rax. I think that's an A. This was actually my sister's book, but it was kind of just abandoned in her old room, and I found it, so I decided to just grab it and read it, and then maybe give it back to her if she wants it, but after I've read it. And then I have Eric S. Gray, no book left behind, right? I have Eric S. Gray's Crave All, Lose All. We have Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, really good book. If you haven't read it, I highly suggest reading it. Bram Stoker's Dracula, Anne Rice, Interview with the Vampire. The Moments, the Minutes, the Hours, the poetry of Jill Scott. We have The Vampire Diaries, The Return, Volumes 2 and 3, Shadow Souls, and then Midnight by L.J. Smith. We have In Search of Pretty Young Black Men by Stanley Bennett Clay. And then also by Larry Duplicon, we have 8 Days a Week, Captain Swing, and Got Till It's Gone. We have Payback Ain't Enough by Wahida Clark. The Black Door by Velvet. And then we have the complete book and lyrics of the Broadway musical Rent by Jonathan Larson. And I accidentally ordered one, but I decided to keep it in case I wanted to like do songs with someone or like run lines with someone, which would be amazing. And then we have these next three books, which are the X-Men Mutant Empire trilogy, Book 1 Siege, Book 2 Sanctuary, and Book 3 Salvation. The standalone X-Men book, X-Men Smoke and Mirrors, Wolverine Road of Bones, Generation X Crossroads, Generation X Genogoths, X-Men Dark Mirror, which I highly, highly, highly recommend. It is so good. If you like the X-Men, if you love the X-Men, if you're kind of on the fence about the X-Men, read this book. You will love it. I promise. It's amazing. And then we also have X-Men Wolverine, X-Men Codename Wolverine. It's just a Wolverine book, really, and it features Team X. So if you're familiar with like the Weapon X program and all of that, it's mostly Team X. There's also Black Widow, Mystique, and Banshee in there. So it's really interesting. And then we have my graphic novels. Lots and lots of these, so I'll try to go through them quickly. X-Men Dark Phoenix Saga, best story ever. Read it. X-Men Days of Future Past, X-Men God Loves, Man Kills, Wolverine by Chris Claremont and Frank Miller. Read that too. It's also really, really amazing. X-Men Magic, Storm and Illyana. Daredevil Born Again, Daredevil The Man Without Fear, Gambit Classic Volumes 1 and 2, The Origin of Generation X Classic Volumes 1 and 2, Exiles Volumes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, Rogue, The Complete Collection, Young Avengers Sidekicks, Young Avengers Family Matters, Young Avengers Presents, Astonishing X-Men by Joss Whedon, and John Cassidy, Ultimate Collection Volume 1. We have X-Men Phoenix Endsong and Warsong, X Factor, The Ultimate Collection, or Complete Collection Volumes 1 and 2. We have Marvel Civil War. Definitely read the book if you haven't. Daredevil West Case Scenario. We have X-Men The Complete Age of Apocalypse Volumes 1 and 2. Ultimate Spider-Man Volume 19. The Ultimates Volumes 1 and 2. Ultimates 2 Ultimate Collection. Ultimates 3 Who Killed the Scarlet Witch. Let's see, Ultimate X-Men Ultimate Collection Volumes 1 and 2. We have Ultimate X-Men Volumes 10, 12, 14, 15, and 16. I never needed to buy Volume 11 because I have every issue that comprises it because I bought that shit real fast. It featured Polaris, and I'm all about Polaris. We have Black Canary, DC Archive Editions, Black Canary Volume 1. Really good. Well, It was good. And I love Black Canary, so yes. Batman The Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller. We have Batman Year One. We have Batman Shaman, Batman and the Monster Men, Batman and the Mad Monk, Batman The Long Halloween. Yes. Ooh, I can't wait to read that. Batman Dark Victory, John Constantine Hellblazer, Volume 1, Original Sins. We have Huntress, Dark Knight Daughter, which is all about the Helena Wayne version of the character from the Silver Age. We have The New Teen Titans, Volume 2, Birds of Prey, the Chuck Dixon era, the first run of Birds of Prey, Volumes 1 and 2, when it was mostly just Oracle and Black Canary. We have Nightwing, The Hunt for Oracle, Batman, Bruce Wayne, Fugitive, Batman, Bruce Wayne, Murderer, the Gail Simone run of Birds of Prey, which are my favorite, Of Like Minds, Sensei and Student, Between Dark and Dawn, The Battle Within. We also have Batman Harley Quinn, Prelude to Knock Knock Jokes, JLA/Titans, The Technis Imperative, Teen Titans, Family Lost, Teen Titans, Beast Boys and Girls, Teen Titans, The Future Is Now, Teen Titans/Outsiders, The Insiders, Teen Titans/Outsiders, The Death and Return of Donna Troy. Ooh, I love Donna Troy. Teen Titans, Life and Death, Teen Titans, Titans Around the World. And then these ones, I've read most of these, but there are lots that I haven't. Mostly all of these I have not read, so I'm just going to go through those as well. We have Titans, Old Friends. Well, I've read that one, actually. That's like the only one. But I had to replace it, so it's shrink-wrapped and everything. We have Titans, Volume 2, Lockdown. Afterlife with Archie. Oh, I definitely recommend that. It was so good. And then this one here isn't actually a story. This DC Entertainment Essential. It kind of just tells you about like the best graphic novels of all time and like which ones to buy. It's kind of like a shopping guide. It's a catalog. But I just put it in there for whatever reason. And then I have the Archies/Josie and the Pussycats, which I bought because of them. Archie and Valerie. The next one is also an Archie and Valerie story. Archie, A Rock and Roll Romance. We have Archie and Will You Marry Me, which is the prelude to Archie the Married Life, in which he marries Veronica and he marries Betty. You kind of see them there, him and Veronica, and then him and Betty. Spider-Gwen, Most Wanted. Batman, The Dark Knight Strikes Again. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Volume 3, Wolves at the Gate. Batman Hush, which is, ooh, the art alone is just like, wow. Oh my god. Anyway, Robin Reborn, which is the Tim Drake Robin, my favorite one. We have the New Teen Titans, Volume 1. We have Jessica Jones, Pulse, the complete collection. This one is definitely lighter than the M-rated Jessica Jones Alias, which I absolutely loved, but I don't have anymore, and I need to get again. I need to get it back. Superman, Our World's at War. Supergirl Volume 1. This is the Matrix version of Superman. The Matrix version of Supergirl that meets and fuses with Linda Danvers. So that's the beginning of the Linda Danvers Supergirl. Marvel, the complete Frank Miller Spider-Man. This used to have a dust jacket, and it's still here, but it's ripped. So I like to keep it off of it to try to like preserve it. I don't know if I'm gonna like tape it or something. I don't know, but until I figure it out, I'm just gonna leave it off. We have The Walking Dead, Volume 4. Of the hardcovers. We have Walking Dead Compendium 2, which will take place right after the 4th volume. I need to get Volume 3. Then I have Extreme X-Men Volumes 1, 2, 3. I don't have 4 because it's kind of a separate storyline. It's not really connected to the rest of the Extreme X-Men storyline, so I didn't bother with it. And then 5, 6, I couldn't find 7, and then 8, so I need to get 7. Uncanny X-Men, The New Age on Ice. Astonishing X-Men Torn, which was a really, really great and interesting storyline. Especially for Emma, Scott, and I'd say Kitty had the most interesting things to do here. And then Batman, Man-Bat 2. I didn't notice the 2 before. Interesting. Then we have Uncanny X-Men, The Extremists. We have X-Men, The Complete Age of Apocalypse Epic, Book 4. I need to get book 3 because this was available at my store. The books are already cheap, and then I get a discount, so I swoop that real quick. All right, and then we have X-Men: The New Age of Apocalypse. We have X-Men: Deadly Genesis. We have Nightwing: Old Friends, New Enemies. We have Marvels, which features a really touching and great storyline featuring Gwen Stacy. My main reason for buying it, honestly. And then we have Black Lightning Volume 1, Superman, Emperor Joker, Outsiders Looking for Trouble, Superman, Batman, Absolute Power, Martian Manhunter, Son of Mars, Infinite Crisis, Superman, Batman in Search for Kryptonite, Superman, Batman, Finest Worlds, Ultimate X-Men Ultimate Collection, Book 3, Exiles Volumes 7 and 8, Birds of Prey Perfect Pitch, the all-new Archie Volumes 1 and 2, X-Men with Great Power, Green Arrow / Black Canary Family Business, New Avengers Breakout, Marvel Origin, which is all about Wolverine, I think, Daredevil, Guardian Devil. We have Astonishing X-Men, Xenogenesis, Batman, A Death in the Family, which, oh my god, as soon as I saw that, I had to get it. And then Dark X-Men, Marvel 1602, Laurel K. Hamilton's Anita Blake, Vampire Hunter. We have Teen Titans On the Clock, New Mutants, Necrosha. I think it's Volume 2, so I need to find a Volume 1. Black Widow, Astonishing X-Men, Unstoppable, Astonishing X-Men, Children of the Brood, Uncanny X-Men From the Ashes, New Mutants Classic Volume 1, Avengers World Trust, Avengers Disassembled. I need to get House of M because I used to have it, but I don't have it anymore. I need to replace it because that story was amazing. Avengers Infinity Classic, Ultimatum, X-Men Supernovas. So that's the end of my graphic novels so far. And then most of these books here are school-assigned readings. I have Judy Juanita's Virgin Soul, 12 Years a Slave. Yes, that 12 Years a Slave. We have The Black Holocaust for beginners. We have 3 Cups of Tea by Greg Mortensen. I learned some things about it and the author. Apparently there was some sketch stuff going on, and he's not that great of a guy. But it was still an interesting read, just going off of the strength of the book alone. And I'd say the same for A Million Little Pieces, because it's supposed to be a memoir, but apparently he embellished a lot of things for literary effect, and he admitted this to Oprah, who backed him and everything like that. So it was a lot. We have Complications by Atul Gawande, which is actually really interesting about medicine and learning, doctors and interns learning about medicine, and people how they feel about people basically learning on them. It's no, I want an experienced doctor, that kind of thing. I didn't finish it, but I definitely want to read it because it's really good. What I did read was really good. And then we have this thing, Reading and Writing About Literature. I can only imagine I had it from my English 5 class. It's been a minute since I've been in English 5. So yeah. But this I do remember for sure. Flaubert's Parrot. That was an English 5, and I remember that. It was pretty interesting. We have Charlene Harris, After Dead, which is obviously part of the Sookie Stackhouse things. This, it talks about the characters and what happened to them after the end of the series. It was actually a big waste of time. Thankfully, though, it was at my job and it was in the bargain section, and it was in there for a reason because some of the characters' pages were literally a sentence. It's oh, died in a car crash, which was kind of annoying as hell because it was an obvious cash grab. But yeah, honestly, the thing didn't warrant an entire book. She literally could have just put this at the end of her last book. But yeah, certain characters that she actually gave a fuck about, definitely got a few pages, Eric and Sookie and certain people got a lot, explained and stuff. So it was those parts were cool, but some of them, they were just throwaways. And then we have 3 Shakespeare plays, King Lear, As You Like It, and Cymbeline. I don't know if I'm pronouncing these names right. And then we have The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne. I have this back in high school, and I just kept it all these years. I never actually finished it, but I will read it because why not? And then I have the Game of Thrones books. This is the one I'm currently reading, but they're really long. It's hard for me to actually read them, and I'm already current on the show, so I feel like I already like know the story kind of. I know they're a little bit different. I know that there are differences, especially now with like some of the recent stuff, and I know some of the spoilers for the books and the show. Well, the show, I don't have any spoilers because I'm current, but for the books, I know some of the spoilers about the books, so I don't know. I'll commit myself to actually finishing at least that one. And then I finished that one. It took me like a year. I don't know what the hell was wrong with me. And it's like horribly damaged because I was just taking it everywhere and like it was just like falling apart. And then this is going to be the next one, book 3 and book 4, and then book 5. And then these are some more Charlaine Harris mystery compilation books with a story from the Sookie Stackhouse books. Must Love Hellhounds, and then we have this one, Night's Edge. These two Charmed books, and then the third one there, I've had since like I want to say middle school. They like came from the library, and I like never brought them back. Same with that Spider-Man Volume 19, Ultimate Spider-Man Volume 19. That's why I like randomly had Volume 19 and not like an Ultimate Collection Volume 1 or even just a regular Volume 1. You can see that I try to do things in order as much as possible. But yeah, this was the one that I was reading last, Mystic Knoll, and then I haven't read Changeling Places, but I did read Pied Piper, and they're all good. And I love anytime they mention Prue, because I hate how like they try to act like she never existed in like the show after the fact. Like flashbacks, they would not show her face or anything, even though I know it ended badly with them, like her split from the show and like her and Alyssa Milano. But like, yeah, she was important and integral to the story, and honestly she was my favorite Charmed one because she was the best. Best actress and just best character. Sorry, not sorry. I love Piper, can't stand Phoebe. Sorry, I mean Alyssa Milano is everything. She's gorgeous. She was one of my few like girl crushes, but like I can't stand Phoebe Hallowell. Definitely the weakest of all of them. In Paige. Paige is everything. I like Paige. I would love to have like Prue, Piper, and Paige be my power of 3. Like screw Phoebe. I'm sorry. She could just go somewhere else. Retire. And then we have the first 3 Anita Blake books, Guilty Pleasures, Laughing Corpse, and Circus of the Damned. I read Guilty Pleasures. It was actually really good. I'm on Laughing Corpse. We'll see how long it takes me to get to that because I still have so much other shit to read. Like, we will see. And then Circus of the Damned will be waiting for when I finish with that. 5 Decades of the X-Men is a collection of 5 stories, one for the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and the 1000s. Some of the stories are better than others, as is with most compilation books. But I think altogether it's solid, you know. I'd probably give it like 3.5 stars out of 5. Generation X, I'd give like 3 stars out of 5. It was okay. I really wish that there was more for like certain characters to do, aka Monet, aka M. She's my favorite, and she's like the most interesting out of all of them, in my opinion. Her and like Jubilee, but they like never give them anything to do. Chamber though, he is always like up front and center because he is really interesting. He actually is really cool. Like, I like Chamber, but I like Monet as well, and they never give her anything to do. I'm like, you have a black girl who has all these powers and is so just like everything, and like you give her nothing to do. I'm like, what the hell? And then we have X-Men: The Return, another one of the books, and then down here we have my ultimate guides. These were things that I would rent from the library when I was a kid, and these were like the beginning of my knowledge for a lot of these heroes and characters and teams. So we have Wonder Woman. Most of these books are in no particular order, so it doesn't mean anything that like, yeah, it's in no particular order. I just kind of threw them on. We have Wonder Woman, Catwoman, Avengers, X-Men, Hulk, Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, and JLA. This book here is accents and dialects for stage and screen. I'm going to use this for when I go back to school and am working like full time on like trying to, you know, learn more about acting and getting my career off the ground and just trying to become a professional. I haven't really gotten into this very much. I have not really sank my teeth into it yet. I've listened to a little bit of the CDs, and I'm working particularly on the British dialect. But we will see how it goes. Hopefully this will be worthy. It cost me $100, and I hope that it was a good investment. We will see. And then this here is a modeling book, a model book, Introspection on Flashman Wade. It's just because he's a hot guy and I'm like all about him. For the most part, I wish there were more pictures in there for what I paid for it, but I wasn't disappointed with what I got though by any means. I will not open it at all or show anything because, you know, he's a model and he's like making his money, and I feel like me showing off pictures or anything like that would discredit it, and it would make people not necessarily want to buy it. So yeah, but it's good shit. I liked it. He's hot, so why not? And then we have the Gossip Girl series, the entire original Gossip Girl series. Gossip Girl, you know you love me. All I want is everything because I'm worth it. I like it like that. You're the one that I want. Nobody does it better. Nothing can keep us together. Only in your dreams would I lie to you. Don't you forget about me. It had to be you. And I will always love you. So with the last two books, this one was a prequel to the entire series. So this one takes place before the first one. And then this one is like the return. This one came out, I think, several years. It's all in chronological order. This one was like the last one that was released for a while until this one came out. And this is like the big return to like all the original characters, because she also, the author Cecily von Ziegler, released Gossip Girl, The Carlyles, which was like a spinoff about these girls, the Carlisle triplets, and like their big thing with like the social scene. And then Jenny got her own books, the It Girl series, which I think the first one was written by Ziegler, but then the rest were ghost written. I'm not sure. I never got those, but I plan to. Hopefully they're good. And I also will get the Carlyles as well. And then we have the Vampire Diaries, The Awakening and The Struggle, the first two books in one. And then we have the next two books, The Fury and Dark Reunion. And then we have The Return, Volume 1, Nightfall. And then we have the first four Pretty Little Liars books and one, like, you know, gift box set that I bought online. Pretty Little Liars, Flawless, Perfect, and Unbelievable. And then the last book that I kind of just threw down there because it couldn't really fit anywhere else, I put X-Men Watchers on the Walls. Whew. All right, that kind of took a while, but yeah, so I definitely wanted to just kind of go through and explain what everything was and kind of just show what the collection was before I elaborated on much. So next, what I'm going to do is actually try to like kind of reorganize my shelf and make more sense of things, maybe putting certain genres together, whether I read them or not. So far, what I did was I used like certain shelves for books that I just read all of, and then other ones like that. I might actually do it the way that we do it at my store, which is organize them by the author's last name, and then the graphic novels will stay together. I think that that'll just be easier. I might do those by like publisher, and then maybe by title or by series. I want to try to keep all the X-Men books together, Spider-Man and all that, and Batman, like anything that has like a lot going on, I want to try to like keep together. And then hopefully I'll find something that works for me, and then at that point I'll definitely go into my more delved into like feelings for some of these books and like why I love them and stuff like that. And hopefully you'll be here for that and you'll enjoy it. So if you like this video and if you want more, definitely like, comment, subscribe, share, do all of the things. And hopefully this journey will be fun for all of us as I continue to get more books and I talk about some of these. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed. Peace.